Welcome to the Imperfect Dads podcast. This is your host, Stephane. We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids, but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like. Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood and how they feel like they're holding it together or how they're not. Thank you for joining us for this episode. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to follow them on Instagram or go to the website neverafacenetwork.com. On this episode, we have on guitarist Stephane Wrembel. Stephane shares his insights on jazz, how he approaches playing guitar, the importance of learning music, the balance of parenting, discipline, and nurturing creativity in children, and cooking and food. A lot of this conversation is about the concept of creativity and channeling the energy that came before you and learning how to respect it and putting your own spin on it. And Stephane taught me a lot about jazz. Stephane is currently on tour, so make sure to go to his website, stephanewrembel.com, to find his tour dates. And also just like one more thing.
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad. Well, hey, welcome to an episode of The Imperfect Dads. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for being willing to do an episode.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And normally the first question I ask, it's real simple. How many kids do you have? What are their ages?
I have 3 kids. One from a previous marriage. He's 20, almost 21. He lives in Vermont. And I have the other 2 here, and they are 9 and 11.
That's so fun. I have 3 kids. I have 2 daughters. They're about to be 10 and 8, and I have a son who's 4. Are your 2 younger kids, are they the same gender? Are they both girls or sons or anything?
No, a little girl, 9, and my boy is 11. And the older one is a boy too.
Sweet. Do your younger kids get along pretty well?
Oh yeah. They fight all the time, but they love each other.
That my 2 oldest share a room, and it's always funny to see like what the disagreement is that day. Because my oldest is very night like neat and tidy, and my middle child is very artistic and kind of an explosion at times. So what, like my oldest daughter's side of the room, neat, proper, clean. Other middle child, not even slightly.
Must be hard for the tidy one.
It is. It always is.
Yeah.
Where do you live? Like, what area of the country do you live in?
Maplewood, New Jersey.
How'd you end up there?
You know, it's right by New York, and I started dating someone back then, and then I ended up like going a lot to Maplewood, and then I met my wife and got married and moved permanently.
That's awesome. I haven't spent much time in New Jersey. I've been to Cape May once or twice because I have family from Philadelphia. But how do you like living in New Jersey?
Well, New Jersey is a big place.
Yeah, it is.
So there's like many different kinds of countryside and vibes and cities. And there's the South Jersey, there's the beach, there's North Jersey, like the part that are against, like right by New York City, like there's the country on there's like many things in New Jersey. So where I live is about half an hour from the city.
Okay.
And it's beautiful. It's a very amazingly beautiful town. It's a small town, like 20,000 people, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Nice. Do you spend much time in New York, or do you do like the train in for work or anything like that?
No. I go once a week to play my gig at Barbes in Brooklyn every Sunday at 8 p.m. for 23 years.
Nice. That's cool.
And then otherwise, yeah, I don't go to New York unless I have to.
Okay, cool. Do you ever do you take your kids to the city that much, or are they fan to like the public transit and the train to get into town or anything?
Nah, we don't. We never go to New York. It's too much of a hassle, you know.
It's a lot. It's a lot. We live out in Denver area, and yeah, sometimes we think like, oh, let's travel to a bigger city. Let's go to New York. Let's go to LA, and then we think about going through the streets of a major city with 3 kids, and we're like, that's a different energy. That's a lot. That's a lot to deal with sometimes.
There's a 4-year-old. What are you gonna do?
Carry him. That's where you're gonna carry him the entire time.
Yeah, it's gonna be mad in the plane. There's gonna be problems. Yeah.
Yes. So maybe not. Maybe we'll wait when he gets a little bit, because whenever, also it makes sense if he sees that many people, he's gonna be like nervous and anxious because he's around like hundreds of people. He's gonna want to be held, and it's not fun walking up steps carrying a 40-pound weight, you know?
No. Been there, yeah.
That's cool. What do you do for like fun with your kids? Like, what's an activity you do with them? Or like, if you get to spend time with them, what do you normally like want to do with them?
Well, I practice the instrument with them. So my daughter plays violin,
Mm-hmm.
and my son he plays clarinet. So we practice together. Sometimes my daughter she wants to play like games like Monopoly or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I try to go with my son to go bowling.
Okay.
We not so much this year. We've been like super busy, but usually we go like once a week. It's like a boys' night we call it.
That's awesome. Are you good at bowling? Are you a good bowler?
No, we go. We play 3 games. He's happy. Then there's like a little arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Then we play a bit of like arcade things for like half an hour. He's happy, and then we go home.
Is he good at does he like bowling, or does he more, do you think he likes bowling, or he more just likes spending time with you?
I think both. You know what I mean? It's a way to spend time together.
Yes. Yeah. What's his favorite arcade game? I feel like I loved arcade games whenever I was a kid.
It's more like we play like air hockey,
Air hockey, yes.
that kind of thing. Then like how do you call that? They have like a machine with like clown heads that go up and down, and you have
Yeah.
to shoot them with a ball.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Like skid ball. I think it's
Ski
called
ball,
skid ball.
Yeah. Where you
Yeah,
roll it up. Yep.
yeah, he likes to do that. Yeah, so it's basically it. We do also like race cars, like on the
Mm-hmm.
screen.
Is your son at the age now where, like, when you play air hockey, like my 4-year-old, whenever he wants to play air hockey, I let him win every game because it's not worth him screaming at me that he lost. Is your son now at the age where, like, when you play a game like that, do you play for real, or do you still kind of pull back a little bit whenever you play?
Put back a bit.
Okay.
If I see that I'm like at 4-0 or something, you know what I mean?
I do.
It's normal because physically I'm like way taller, way stronger, it's going faster. It's unbalanced, you know what I mean? And if he just
I
feel
do.
he's gonna lose, then he's not gonna want to play. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You have to like, instead of playing 100% of my capacities, I play maybe 70%.
Mm-hmm.
So I play a bit. Sometimes I win, sometimes he wins. It's fine if I win, but as long as he can play a bit, and doesn't feel completely overwhelmed, poor thing.
Yeah.
But that's normal.
It is totally.
Same
Yeah.
thing when I play Monopoly with my daughter. I don't know, we have 2 different styles of playing,
Mm-hmm.
but usually I win in the end.
Yeah.
But I'm trying not to put too much, too much aggressivity, because otherwise I would like just destroy her very quickly.
I've played checkers with my oldest before, where we're playing and I look at her, I'm like, okay, do you want me to play for real, or do you want me to play where we have fun playing the game together? Because same, I know how to win a game and how to dominate a game. That's not the point, man. Whenever you're playing with your kids, it's to have fun, let them enjoy the game and stuff. But I've looked at my oldest before and been like, do you want me to play for real or play for fun? And she'll be like, play for fun. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do this. Here we go.
And if we play soccer, he plays soccer a lot.
Yeah.
So when he's used the ball and I try to like grab the ball, he's better than me.
Yeah.
So that's good. And the other day he beat me at chess.
Nice.
For real. It
Yeah.
was legit win on a bullet, like
Mhm.
a 3-minute game. Yeah, we played chess a bit also, yeah.
That's cool. My kids are just now starting to understand chess and like the strategy involved with it. That's really cool whenever you can play like a more complicated game with your kid and they understand it in a way in which you don't have to like pull your punches there at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about do you guys play a lot of board games, or is that kind of a common activity for you guys?
Not so common, but with him, no, he doesn't like that. But with my daughter, once in a while, yeah,
Okay.
she gets into wanting to play games.
That's fun. I feel like my kids will either want to play board games or puzzles. I feel like we went through like a puzzle phase for a month there where like every day it was a new puzzle to do.
My wife is the puzzle person.
Are you not a puzzle person? No? Is it too focused, or are you just like, I'm good?
I like puzzles, but I feel like I waste my time.
Because you just, at the end, you just kind of break it up and put it back together anyway?
Yeah, like when I play chess, I feel it's a bit like music.
Mhm.
I have to do combinations and stuff. So I'm a bit wasting my time, but that's good for the brain.
Yes.
Usually I do once a day, I do a page of Sudoku
Yes.
and I do a page of crosswords.
Mhm.
I read, And if I have to do like more, I do it on music. I work
Cool.
on harmony. I work on counterpoint. I transcribe. I try to analyze like things that I play. So it's
Hmm.
more like, you know what I mean? So always related to music in the end. You know,
Okay. And
it
is that
always goes back to that.
sweet? And your career is you've been a jazz guitarist for what, like 20, 30 years? Is that correct?
Not really jazz because
Okay.
actually,
I don't want to put you in a category. I play guitar also, and I'm like, I'm not. No, I play more than just one style. Come on.
it's not even that. It's like the word jazz is usually like, it depends how you say it.
Okay.
When I say the word jazz, I refer to the archetypal frame that was born in New Orleans
Hmm.
in the late 19th century. So for me, the word jazz goes with that frame. Okay, that's something universal. It was not created because humans cannot create, but it was born. You know, the universe is like a gigantic Lego box. You know, we can play with it. You know, we don't create because only the universe create, but we're just part of it and have fun. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I do.
Sometimes we give birth to things. We give birth to archetypes, and this is an archetypal frame. That's the thing that is universal. So, for example, when you say there is a jazz musician, that means he's
Hmm.
in contact with the frame.
Hmm.
But after, he has his personality, he lives in its time. For example, so for me, I know jazz, I study jazz. So I know that frame. And the guy who manifested guitar in jazz is Django Reinhardt. So this is where I'm from, Fontainebleau, where he was based. And also for me, Django Reinhardt is my number one influence on guitar, you know? I learned with the gypsies and all. So it's number one thing. And he really is the one who manifested the archetype of jazz on the guitar. So it's a certain, he really has to groove hard and all that, you know. So in a way, we're closer to the very original thing of like New Orleans styles, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? So I know that very well. And of course, like a lot of rock, because my favorite band is Pink Floyd. So I learned
Hmm.
like all the Pink Floyd stuff when I was a kid,
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, all that. And then I practice classical guitar, like all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing that I don't like is the electric jazz guitar.
Okay.
You know, like Pat Metheny and
Yes.
all that, or like
Is Les Paul
I don't know.
considered in that category? I feel like he was like
It's
adjacent
weird
to it.
because he's almost more an inventor. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him anywhere.
Okay.
But more like I don't know, like Tal Farlow and all that stuff. I can't listen to that, man. When I hear like what we call usually jazz guitar,
Hmm.
that makes me drive me crazy. I can't listen to that.
Okay.
I cannot stand the tone. I cannot stand the way it's played. I cannot
Yeah.
stand anything about it. I just can't. So jazz guitar, yes, but if you go back to Django and incorporate rock and everything, that's okay, you know. But not jazz guitar like the stuff like we call jazz guitar.
Okay. What makes jazz guitar? Do you think it's more like an acoustic guitar, nylon strings? Like, give me the full rundown of what makes a guitar like. What do you consider jazz guitar then?
No, jazz is jazz.
Okay.
Is the architect the frame,
I got you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and the guitar is the guitar.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
how do you manifest that frame on a guitar?
Hmm.
And if you have, like, for example, like we do in the world of Django, you know, with the gypsies and all, we use acoustic instruments,
Hmm.
steel strings with a
Okay.
specific, like, they're specifically built for that.
Okay.
So they produce a certain sound, they have a certain playability, you know what I mean?
I do.
And I like also the sound of nylon, but I prefer, like, for that, for to manifest that, I prefer the sound of steel, those steel string that we use, you know,
Okay.
that buzzes a little bit,
Hmm.
which creates almost a little distortion in the sound, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I do.
So it's very pleasant. And the tone comes from the right hand and the articulation of everything. In a way, it's very precise with the right hand technique. It's a bit like playing the violin. You know, you learn your technique of bowing and stuff like
Yes.
that. We have a very specific technique of picking, which is the same as the oud. So you really have codes in it and stuff like that to learn to produce a tone. So we produce a certain tone and a certain groove a certain way. It's very, very specific, you know. And then with that technique and a certain way of like approaching the way the fingerboard works, then you manifest things. And in that, you manifest jazz. But once you have an electric guitar, I don't know. It's like it's really a question of tone, you know, that
Yeah, I
I
do.
the tone, and also like I think like a lot of what we call jazz guitarists, they don't really play jazz.
Hmm.
They play a bunch of gimmicks of some sort that are disconnected really from the rhythmical aspect of the original stuff, you know?
Hmm. I do.
But I say that for the guitar, I have the same problem with the pianists, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like there are pianists that I really love, and the pianists like past a certain point that I can't listen to it. Like my favorite piano player in jazz is Oscar Peterson.
Okay.
I love Oscar Peterson, you know, because he still has that swing. You can feel
Hmm.
very strongly the underlying swing and all. But I can't listen to what's his name, Bill Evans, for example.
Okay. Yeah.
That drives me crazy. People are like, but you love Debussy, you should like the. I said, no, it has nothing to do with Debussy. So you see what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I studied recording techniques at in Nashville. So yeah, like guitar tone, how someone plays it, how they strum it, how their fingers linger on the fretboard and stuff like that. It communicates a world is how I view it. And yeah, no, I mean your string selection, where your hand, like starting position on it, like there's so many minor details that once you notice them, you understand the world that they're creating with that guitar or with that piano or with that drum kit or whatever. So no, I completely agree. I think it's you are well versed in the language of what jazz was whenever it originated, and you notice the variances when someone comes out and is like, "I play jazz," and you're like, "You're not using steel strings. You're not doing like you're doing a version of it, but it's not the origin of it."
yeah. So the frame is the same for everyone.
Hmm.
So the closer you get to the beginning, the closer you can get in touch with the frame.
Yes.
If you want to study harmony, I don't think you should study Debussy. You should
Okay.
study Bach.
Yeah.
You know, when you study Bach, you're in pure harmony. See what I mean? You almost don't need to analyze it too much. You want
Yeah.
to play it.
Yeah.
Once you play it, it will put something in you. You know what I mean? Like naturally, you know, because the guy is the closest possible to harmony itself. You know what I mean? To the archetypes. Uh, what's important for me is you have a lot of people who try to copy. They want to be jazzmen of the 20s, jazzmen of the 50s, jazzmen of the. But you are in 2026. You have different technologies. You've heard Coltrane. You've heard Hendrix. You've heard like nowadays with like the world being completely open. You heard like Indian music, Japanese music. You heard like Kora, you know, like Malian music. You heard like Brazilian. You heard music from all over the world, and you got familiar with all this sound. You can go online and get lessons of Indian rhythm if you want,
Hmm.
and start to practice that. So
Yeah.
there's also a reality of where we are in the world right now. So I think like once you identify the archetype, the frame, then you can experience it in your nowadays like modern day world. You know what I mean? You're not gonna craft the melodies exactly as they were before because those guys they didn't come from the same world. You know?
Yeah. I do, and I think everything influences everything. Yeah, I grew up also on like Pink Floyd, David Bowie, or that's my dad listened to a lot too, and then like all the punk rock music of the '90s. So if I play guitar, I can tell whenever I'm channeling, David Gilmour. I can tell whenever I'm channeling some guy in a basement strumming a guitar chord because of my frame of reference is that, and that absolutely influences every time I pick up a guitar.
Yeah, and you can see that there is an archetype which is universal,
Hmm.
and there is a person which is singular. So you have the universal and the singular. So the singular is going to interpret a piece
Yes.
of the universal.
Yeah.
That's why, like, no one will play exactly the same thing.
Hmm.
You can't, like, you play the swing on the guitar, give the same guitar, the same song, same tempo, same voicing, same everything, same pick, everything you want to
Yeah.
10 different guys. You're gonna have 10 different
Yeah.
comping,
Yep.
but they're all gonna swing. They're all gonna be good, you know.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna sound the same.
Yep. And I think that's beautiful. That's my favorite thing about music is,
We
yeah,
have no choice.
you and I could play the exact same song on guitar. You would sound a lot better than me, but they would both have their pros and cons of what that song sounds like. And I think that's the most human thing ever is how are you able to express yourself in a way that's unique to you and your past, your history and everything.
Yeah, you can reach an archetype, but you cannot manifest the archetype.
Yes. Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
kind of sense its presence and manifest like an interpretation
Hmm.
of the archetype.
Yeah.
You know, you have an interpretation, a representation.
Yeah. You can channel
So
the energy. You can channel the energy. You can be in tune with the energy, but you're not. But it's still so
yes,
much, it's still bigger than you.
like for example, swing. We don't know what swing is. We know because we hear people swing, but no one swings the same.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I do.
It's like unnerving in a way, but in another way, it's also reassuring because we are not machines.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so there is always these two things: the universal and the personal. And the personal, you are a genetic.
Hmm.
You also come with a history of yourself. You also in your time
Hmm.
with what you have. So there is it's also not only that you're unique genetically, but it's also the environments that plays.
Hmm.
So all that is like a great mystery, and we just like enjoy and we dance in life, and
Yeah.
that's it, you know.
I totally agree. How do you feel like do you feel like your kids are able to understand that? Or do you feel like you're able to communicate that to them whenever they're playing music, whenever they're starting to dive into that a little bit?
They're too young.
Yeah, I get that.
They get mad at me, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I keep on saying things. For example, my son, who's a bit more, he's a bit older, is a bit more advanced, you know, with his clarinet.
Hmm.
I said, that's beautiful. You have a beautiful tone. Listen to your tone. Let's not go too fast. Pay attention to your tone. That kind of thing, you know what I mean? And he's like,
Yeah.
wow, yes, but don't worry about it. That's going to sink.
Yes,
And one day it's going to surface, you know what I mean?
I do.
It's not about like what you get right now. It's about like, you know, you have to repeat so many times the same thing always. It's like teaching, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
that's the essence. The essence of transmitting and teaching is to repeat a lot
A
for a
lot.
long time.
A long time. Well, I remember whenever I was a kid playing music, I would be so focused on like getting it right, like playing the notes perfectly, playing it in tune, that I would almost devoid it of the characteristic of me. So it is kind of like, hey, yeah, you played it right, but like, are you showing up in how you play also is like a weird thing to communicate to a kid.
Yeah, right now he's too young anyway. He's just learning technique. He's just learning to move his
Yeah.
fingers. This is a crazy thing, man. As a guitar player, I have troubles to relate with the clarinet.
Yeah.
But in a way, when I look at him, it's like playing a chord. Each note is a chord. It's a certain combination of fingers. So it's like playing one chord after another constantly. It's crazy,
Yeah.
man. It's this crazy instrument. But the work on tone is very important. He has very good rhythm, so that is like an easy part, you know. And I try to, when he cannot play something, I try to have him repeat. He's like reluctant to repetition.
Yes.
So I'm trying to teach him that repeating the same thing a few times, then you start to know it very quickly if you pay attention. This is difficult because he's resistant to that. But you know, I keep trucking with it. But I try to teach him like when I practice, I use groups of 1 minute usually.
Okay.
I have a new phrase or something. For example, I try to like I'm learning a phrase and I try to bring the tempo up. I will do 1 minute at 60, 1 minute at 70, 1 minute at 80. So and I increase it every minute. I'm not staying too long, but a minute is a lot of work. It's a long
Hmm.
time when you're practicing.
It is.
So it's like, and it's actually good because it makes you like keep going. You know what I mean? You
Hmm.
go 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Yeah.
And I try to teach him those kind of things, and he's reluctant to listen to me for that. But hopefully, one day he's gonna understand that, and whatever he does, he's gonna understand that if he wants to know something, he's gonna have to like have the patience to repeat it a little bit every day. See what I mean? There is like underlying philosophical learning behind. You know what I mean? You
There's.
need to practice every day. You have to have a certain organization. It's like this is the harder thing with music. Music is very simple.
Hmm.
It's not complicated. It's very simple. It's only in our imagination that is complicated. It's complicated when you don't have methods and when you have like ignorant universities who try to teach you things that don't exist.
Okay. I know like with my kids, similar when they do something for the first time, they're not very good at it, and then they get frustrated, and I'm trying to convince them to try again. And it's funny how universal it is to look at your kid and be like, "You've never done this before." It's good, like slow it down, understand it as you do it, and that's like music. That's riding a bike. That's everything. Is like trying to tell my kids, "You've never done this before. It's going to take you a while before you're at the level you expect yourself to be at."
Yeah, it's exactly that.
I think anytime I try something for the first time, it's not very good. And as an adult, I know to slow down, understand what I'm doing, and then I know I'll be better. But as a
Yeah,
kid, you just see failure.
Yeah, because music is very simple. It's not complicated. So complicated brings fear
Yes.
and also brings too much rational thinking and intellectualism that we don't need.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, the real difficulty of music, the very difficult thing, is to have the patience
Mm-hmm.
to practice something slowly and repeat it every day. To do a lot of repetition of the same thing rationally. The rational mind is at the beginning of the chain,
Mm-hmm.
It's when you look at something and you have to program your brain to get the muscle memory. See, I don't believe that life comes from the brain, I think brain is part of the body,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like the center control of everything. The experience we have of our manifestation here on Earth, like the representations we have, how we get in contact with the objects. I'm talking philosophy here. The object is everything you encounter. Everything that comes to your senses is an object. Or even a thought can be an object. You encounter the world like that, and you experience something. You see. It's kind of like a dreamy our experience of life, But so the brain doesn't generate the experience. The brain is like the one that get in touch with all the senses
Mm-hmm.
and gather it in one place so you can have the experience. You see, everything is made of atoms and molecules that can appear as waves. So what is really the brain?
It's
We don't know.
fascinating. Yeah.
We can't see our own brain, or we're dead. So what do we know exactly? Like we think there is like something solid. We think we all live in but what is it really? Because it's really a center of perception. So we perceive something. I have no idea what's going on. No one knows really what's going on. When you start to think a little bit about it, you don't know. But it seems, for what I observe, that life is something different than the brain.
Mhm.
It is the soul and all that. So, but there is a brain. And there is a reality to that. You cannot deny it either. See, usually we are facing two train of thought. It's either you have like scientists, like scienticism, that tell you there is nothing but what's material and the brain. It's all generated by that. And you have the others, like a more new age, you will say, oh, everything is the mind. It's
Yeah.
all the mind. Well, there's a bit of everything here,
There is. Yeah.
Okay, it's maybe your mind, but if you open the window on the 20th floor and you go through the window,
Bye-bye.
you will see if it's mine. If someone slap you in the face, well, there is also a body. You're
Yeah.
gonna feel it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's not only mind and it's not only body. It's both things combined. So the whole goal is to separate both things and to attribute to the body what belongs to the body and attribute to the mind what belongs to the mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I do.
there's a work of separation of the elements and recombine them in the right place,
Yes.
and to accept the way it is, that's the way they are. So for music, what's difficult is to build a muscle memory.
Mhm.
You need a strong muscle memory to be able to play music. Because music after that is play with the mind in conjunction with the muscle memory. Then you can hear things, and those things they come out of you, and you are more in a dreamy state than like thinking. There's no rational thinking.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think, yeah, because your brain needs to be able to do the physical motion of playing an instrument and knowing how to make your fingers work faster and all that. But you also have to be, I view like the greater creative conscience is kind of what like the archetype is to me. So you also need to somehow be present enough in which you know how to physically move on a fretboard or on a keyboard, but also not be too focused on it that you ignore the greater creative energy that's around you.
And it's not only the fingers. The fingers is one thing. There's
Yeah.
the eye. You need
Yeah.
to see like the fingerboard. You need to see like exactly everything that happened on your instrument. You have
Mhm.
to see it in your inner eye,
Yeah.
in your center of vision. You can close your eye and still play, but you
Yes.
have to see before, and you have to hear, of course, because you are, of course, we're musician. Yeah, but that's very difficult to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To hear
Mhm.
something.
Yep.
So you hear what you see. You see a drawing, and you
Mhm.
know that drawing has sound, and you know how to manifest it. You see the fingerboard, the fingers, and you see the drawing, and there is a sound. So now with this sound, you start to create melodies. You do it so much that you don't have to think like, am I in A minor? Is it a third? Is it a fifth? No,
Mhm.
you just You
You just
just know the
feel.
song
Yeah.
and you feel like what the next note should be without even knowing where you are or what's going on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the work of the muscle memory, but with the rational mind.
Yeah. Totally. And it's fun to see your kids start to enter into. I think I always try to keep my messaging to my kids to what I feel like they can understand. Because yeah, I don't expect my almost 10-year-old to understand that world at all. But it is reality. That is reality of like, hey, your rational mind and your rational mind, head and the heart, basically. Like you need to be able to have life in the physical world, but also acknowledge there's more than the physical world that you exist in.
Yes, and also it's a methodology of work, for like anything. Whatever you want to do, you do like that. You want to get better at soccer, you're going to have to work on some gestures again and again and again.
Yep.
That you have no choice. That's why like the great champions, they go to train more than the others.
Mm-hmm.
They arrive earlier and they leave later because they practice with the group, but before that, they also practice their individual skills, shooting a penalty,
Yeah.
doing this, doing that. I don't know, like whatever sport you do, you still need to like repeat some stuff. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah. Do you do so? I like to bake a lot. I do a lot of bread baking, and I feel like baking a bread is like such a phenomenal moment of realizing like how warm was it? There's so many like external factors for baking bread. Like how warm is it that day? That affects the rise and all that. Like a bread that I make makes me aware of how the weather was that day and like how hard I pushed it whenever I rolled it out and stuff. Do you do anything with cooking as well? Because I feel like cooking is very much in this vein as well.
Yeah, I'm not so much baking.
Okay.
I'm more cooking.
Cool.
And right now I'm learning really like temperature,
Yeah.
like the amount of fire to cook something at a certain pace, when to put
Yes.
one thing, when to put the other.
Mhm.
Like that whole,
I do. Dance.
how
It's
do
a
you
dance. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
layer things? I don't know. I've had some like very, very good experiences lately.
Okay. Yeah. I know, like, for me, like, temperature of the pan is something I'm learning. Like, oh, I just cooked something in this. The pan is too hot. I have to let it cool down a little bit. Like, it's very easy to mess up a good meal when it comes to cooking.
But it's the same thing. You want to practice.
You do.
You want to practice. Yeah. For example, I made like eggs merette for New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
It's an egg, a poached egg in a red wine and onion sauce, a
Yeah.
reduction, with pancetta
Mhm.
and a bit of
Mm.
croutons. It's delicious. It's so
Yeah,
good.
sounds like it.
But I messed up the first two. I did it like the night before and I completely messed it up because I added flour. I watched like videos of people putting flour.
Mhm.
And there is like one video where the guy doesn't put flour, and I thought it was like it looked better, but I wanted to try with the flour, and I
Yeah.
completely messed up everything.
Yeah.
So I woke up the next morning and I really did a test before I cook at night. And
Yes.
this time I didn't put the flour, and that was the right way to do. And that was delicious.
I love how many YouTube videos there are now. Cause I'll try to do like, I like baking bread a lot and I'll try new breads and I'll watch like 3 or 4 different videos of like, how did they do this braid? How did they fold it and stuff like that? And YouTube is a great tool for figuring out to avoid mistakes.
Yeah, and my daughter, she's way into cooking.
Yeah.
She's really good because my wife's mother, her grandma, she's like such a great cook, and
Mhm.
she make like fresh pasta. She's like a Italian American.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So she learned to do the dough. So my daughter, she knows. For Christmas, I got her a pasta machine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now she wants to make pasta and all, and she knows how to do it.
That's not bad.
Plus, she knows how to make a pie. She
Yes.
can make you a pizza. Like she exactly
Yeah.
know how to make the dough, how to lay the dough, when to put things, when
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
ready. She completely knows now. She's
Yes.
9, but she knows. The other day, like a week ago, I wake up. She wakes me up and she said, "I made you breakfast," and she
Oh,
made me an avocado toast. So in the pan, she made the toast
mhm.
in the pan,
Yeah.
and then she crushed half an avocado on it
Mhm.
with a fork.
Yeah.
And then she poached an egg,
That's
put the egg on
hard.
it, and
Yeah.
then a bit of salt, and she cracked some pepper on it, just to make sure.
Man.
It was beautiful. It was perfect. Because I told her like these things, but she really learns, how to poach an egg and all
Yeah.
that. She can do it. And that was great, to see that she learns.
Yeah.
And at night, when I put her to bed, before I put her to bed, we watch culinary shows together.
That's cool.
Yeah, like French, usually French stuff.
Mhm.
We either watch recipes or we watch those cooking, like those shows about chefs, for
Yes.
example.
Yeah.
That guy goes with a chef in different places. For example, in Normandy, he's going to a couple of towns,
Yeah.
meet different people. He meets the cheesemaker, he meets
Yes.
the chef, he meets the winemaker, and how they all know each other. And
Hmm.
see what I'm saying? It's a bit lively.
Yes. Yeah. No,
We love that.
Anthony Bourdain had his show. I can't remember the name of it right now, where he would basically do that. Just go to new cities and be like, "Hey, I'm just going to talk to chefs, learn about your process, learn about your life." And just similar to music, I think food is one of the great communicators of humanity that I absolutely
Yeah,
love.
and little kids, except if you have a virtuoso.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes there is a bit of child prodigy right there, like a kid that has like he can
Hmm.
really play the
Hmm.
piano, like they are 6 years old, they can play Chopin and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are working harder on that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But for little kids, I think more important is to calmly build a muscle memory,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's not so much about playing a lot every day. Play just a bit, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an
Hmm.
hour perhaps. Usually my son is like 20 minutes, my daughter 10, 15 minutes of violin, you know?
Yeah.
We do her scales, we do her page of reading notes, page of reading rhythm, and the little song she's working on. But every day, again and again, the same muscle memory. And I think their mind, they are too young to latch on the music yet. So it's important to grow it like slowly and nicely. You know what I mean? And the teachers are very important. They are both have like great, amazing, positive teacher. They're cool.
That's
So
great.
there's no pressure because they don't have the virtuoso stuff, you know.
Hmm.
Although they
Yeah.
both have great rhythm, they hear and all that. And of course, because they in my family, you know, I have musicians coming over. They come to the shows. I listen
Yeah.
to music. I practice. So they are constantly like bombarded with music, and they know like where to place a phrase.
Yeah.
When I
That's
do,
cool.
for example, I learn a song with my son. He learns the notes. Sometimes he has problem with the notes, but once I play the chords, he knows exactly where to place the melody and
That's
stuff. So
cool.
that's the most important thing, you know. But nonetheless, I'm more like interested in like it's like a simmer, you know, like you
Hmm.
cook very low those little kids, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they do that thing. They're not too bugged with it. 15 minutes a day. They don't want to do it. You do it
Yeah.
anyway, you know?
Yep.
And because they both wanted to do, we started with piano and they didn't like it, but that's life, you know? Music's part of education. So you're going to do something. And then like she wanted to play violin. I said, okay, you're going to start violin, but now it's your instrument. There's no stopping or anything. I want you to understand. Okay. And he chose clarinet for school.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he got so into it at the beginning. He was playing the clarinet all day long. He was playing and stuff. He's very talented for it, you know. But now it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now is the part that okay. Now you need to like work a bit.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. It's interesting because like if you're, I think learning discipline is almost more important than having talent. Because if you're naturally talented at something, you aren't always the most disciplined at it. Because you're like, oh, it's just easy for me to do this. So if you can reinforce discipline, staying at it and stuff like that, that's I think discipline is where you achieve greatness. Because I've watched lots of friends where they are naturally talented at something, but they lack the discipline because they're naturally talented, and then they fizzle out because there's a point in which you need discipline more than you need talent to achieve something.
Oh yeah. No matter what, you need work. But
Yeah.
then I think also like some of us, a very few portion, small portion of humanity will have a natural technique, will learn
Hmm.
very quickly from a very young age. And you have people who are 16 years old and they are amazing, they can
Yeah.
play great, but then they never move from that.
Yes.
Okay.
Plateau. Yep.
Voila. It's just like, okay, I go from 0 to 100 and now, but for the rest of my life, I'm there.
Hmm.
While for a lot of us, it's more like, you know, you do other things and then you start to practice and you work and you're going to bring yourself to 100 also,
Hmm.
but not as fast. And this is not because it's not only the guys who are like born prodigies like that can do things, you know. It's like
Hmm.
most of us are not prodigies.
Yeah.
Almost none of us, you know what I mean?
Statistically, yeah.
I mean, I love the Rolling Stones. They are not prodigies in their instruments, but they
No,
write great songs.
but they're great.
They're great. They're great songs. The concerts are great. The energy is amazing. I love it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There is no So we shouldn't feel bad, you know what I mean? So if your kid is not a virtuoso, it's good to like go slowly, put it on simmer. Because I think like when you reach the teenage, see once you start to be like 15, 14, 15, they can start to play in bands. There's bands in high school and they start to have more like strengths and personality, and suddenly their mind is a bit more patient, is a bit more there. They are more like willing to repeat things more than 5 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like once you put a bit of that and they already have the technique to latch on, so suddenly
Yes.
the things is a bit easier. You push it a little bit and it
Yeah.
goes really fast. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I do. No, I
And you
mean,
know what? If they don't want to play music later, they won't play music. What
yeah,
can I do? If
yeah,
they want to
pretty
be
much.
musicians, they can be. If they don't want, they won't. If they don't want to play an instrument anymore, don't play. But you're always going to have that muscle memory in case you want to play again.
Yes.
But at least they hear music. They're going to respect people who play an instrument.
Yeah,
See what I mean? Like,
I do.
they're gonna respect the arts and maybe like apply those principles in what they do. But I really believe in that. Not panicking with the kid. It doesn't
Mhm.
need to push too hard.
Yeah. Nope, that's how we have like I wouldn't say I play piano, but we have a piano. I mostly play guitar. And my hope is just to create an environment in which the kids want to just mess around with it and play with it and get familiar with it and be comfortable with it more than like be like, go learn this piano part, play it perfect, do this correctly. It's just like, no, no, no. This is an instrument of expression and love. And I want you to know that more than like that this is a way for you to be judged on a performance.
Yeah. I still believe a bit of organization is good.
Absolutely. No,
Practice.
absolutely. Yes.
But now that they don't play piano anymore, my daughter, she goes on YouTube, she finds little videos and she
Yeah.
teaches herself some songs.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So, but the piano is not her main instrument now, it's the violin. A
Cool.
violin with discipline.
Yeah, totally.
We do every day, but a little bit. Not too pushy. We laugh about it. I try to be like,
Have fun.
yes, I don't know. I don't know if really have fun, but make it a little bit less. I don't want to be too pushy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I do. Yes. Yeah, because you want them to respect the instrument and know the lessons that you've learned from playing an instrument, but also take it seriously all at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how I end every episode is ask every guest a series of 5 questions. They aren't rapid fire, so you have some time to think about it. So the first question I'll ask you is, did you have any names you almost named your kids? Like, did you have any backup names for your kids? Like, where they were almost this name instead of the name you guys chose for them?
Well, my first son he should have been Miles,
Okay.
but when he was born, we thought that he didn't fit very well.
Huh? Yeah.
And my second name on list was Gael.
Gail?
So that was Gael. So it
Nice.
ended up being Gael.
Nice.
And his middle name is Joseph, which is my grandpa's first name.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the name of the father of Christ. And he's a carpenter and a builder. So I thought like all that is like, I thought it was a good middle name. I always thought that the first name is like your exoteric name, is like the one where you interact with the world.
Mm-hmm.
But your middle name it contains something. Usually it's like the dad's name
Mm-hmm.
or there is a meaning to it, something you can reflect. So for him, I wanted to reflect on the builder part and also his grandpa. My
Yeah.
grandpa was like one of my models, I loved him so much.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's also the father of Christ is good. It's like the
It's not
father of
bad.
who you are.
Yeah,
So
it's not bad.
it's all a good archetype. For the other two, my wife chose the first name and she decided on the first names anyway. She was like, he's gonna be Henry, she's gonna be Marcel, and that was it. I didn't even discuss because it could be named Henry with me having a migraine or without the migraine, so I chose no migraine.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
okay, name the kid how you want. I just had one request for my son, Henry with an I, not a
Oh,
Y.
okay.
I wanted the French spelling because I cannot name my kid after an English king. It's not possible. And
That is awesome.
but I got to choose the middle name, which
Yes.
I'm more into because it's more esoteric. So my son's middle name is Amadeus.
Okay. Amadeus.
So there is a little reference, of course, to Mozart, but it really means loved by God.
That's cool.
Theophilus in Greek and Gottlieb in German.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Mozart was first named Gottlieb, and he changed it later for
Okay.
Amadeus in Latin.
Yeah.
He changed it for the Latin version, which means the same thing. So there is something about that. Amadeus, loved
Yeah.
by God,
That's cool.
and Mozart and all that. So I thought it was a pretty powerful middle name. There's something to like, it's yours and you can reflect for yourself.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
my daughter is Athena.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Athena, it was almost Nadia,
hmm
in reference to Nadia Boulanger.
Who I can't say I know who that is.
Nadia Boulanger is like the greatest music teacher who probably ever lived in
Okay.
the 20th
Cool.
century. There's actually a documentary about her named Mademoiselle
Okay.
that was filmed in 1979, 50 minutes, and it's unbelievable. Nadia Boulanger. There is also Nadia Comaneci, the Romanian gymnast
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
of the like late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she did like perfect 10 of 10.
hmm
And I always loved her. Oh my God. She had so much grace. See, this is
Yeah.
the thing when I looked at the gymnast right now, they are very athletic. They can do like crazy things athletically, but they don't have like 1 ounce of the grace
Yeah.
that Nadia had. It's really pure grace, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. So Nadia was like on the balance,
Okay.
but Athena is the goddess of the arts.
hmm
And she's her symbol is the owl,
Okay.
because the owl has the eye open in the obscurity of ignorance. So my
Nice.
daughter, she has like several owls in her bedroom and
That's
stuff.
cool. Yeah.
So she can always reflect on the myth of Athena
hmm
and like everything that goes with it. To me, the middle name is very important. It's Jungian archetypal dreamy name,
That's cool. That's awesome.
in conscious reflection.
Yes. That's awesome. Next question is, do you have a favorite like dad figure from like a TV show, a book, a movie, or anything like that? Like whenever, like from media at all, like favorite dad,
Well, favorite,
or that you think of first?
the only one, the first one that comes to mind
Yes.
is the dad in American Pie. Not
Yes.
that I want to be that guy,
You
not
do not want to be
anything,
that dad, but yes.
but I think like in terms of cinema,
Yeah.
it's like one of the funniest, most amazing dad figure I ever made. It's like, it's unbelievable. It's just like so funny. So
That's awesome.
I don't know if it would be my reference, but at least it's the first one that pops in mind.
I'm not saying the question isn't what type of dad do you want to be? It's when you think of a TV or movie dad, who pops into your head first? And
That
that
guy.
is that. I can't remember that character's name. I've watched all the American Pie movies, but I cannot tell you that detail of what his name is in that movie.
The dad?
Yeah, I know Eugene Levy is the actor, but I can't think of.
I don't think.
Does he have a name?
Yeah, I think this was like your dad, my dad, hey
Yeah.
dad.
The dad. Yes,
Yeah, I think I'm wondering if he has a name.
he has to. That's
Perhaps.
awesome.
Yeah. I don't know.
Probably.
But that's him.
Right. Next question is, do you have like a go-to replacement curse word? Like whenever you stub your toe around the kids and you want to say like a bad word, or do you just say whatever word pops into your head and say, man,
Yeah, usually I swear in French.
okay, yeah,
But otherwise, I would say shoot or something like that, something regular. Or schnikey.
Schnikey, that's awesome. That's the joy of knowing so many languages is you can curse in other languages and teach your kids some worldly knowledge of how to curse in other languages.
But that's my wife. She will say, oh, schnikey. So now I say, oh, schnikey.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Next question. What is like one of your favorite activities to do with your kids? Is it music or is there anything else besides that?
It's not so much like activities, just to be with them.
Cool. Yeah.
Whatever we do, like, of course, I love to do music with them, but when I do it, it's less fun. It's more educative. I feel I'm doing something. I love to go to France with them. Like we go every year, and
That's cool.
I don't know. It's just like being in their presence and
Mhm.
traveling with them. It's like a journey. It's like
Yeah.
a beyond, and doing my best to give whatever I can give.
Yeah.
I'm
I
a
do.
musician, so I can teach music. I speak French, so I can teach them French. We can go to France so they can see something else. We can travel in Europe and stuff.
Mhm.
And that's what I can give them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You give what you have. I'm not,
Pretty much. Yep.
what can you do?
And then last question, which kind of goes along with that is there like any moment of your kid's life you're really excited for them to like achieve or like experience in their life? As you think of them like getting older and stuff, is there anything where you're like, oh man, I can't wait until you get to this point of your life or this phase of your life?
Not really.
Okay.
It's just like, it's just like a thing that unfolds.
Yeah.
Maybe because I never left, I didn't have like really some people have a job and a career, they
Yeah.
achieve like being the director of this, the director.
Climb the ladder,
So there
all
is like
that.
perhaps some more visible stuff. For me,
Hmm.
it's just being a musician,
Hmm.
traveling all over the world, like, I don't know. I just feel like the more you age, the more like whatever is around you has meaning,
Yeah. Yeah.
And although I see like a lot of ignorance in those kids,
Hmm.
because like for example when we practice like the impatient and all that, I say if only you would be a bit patient and repeat, you have no idea the joy you would experience from
Yeah.
that. Like just slow down a bit, but they can't, they're little kids,
Yeah. Of course.
so
Yeah.
they experience what they experience. And he's like, oh, I want to quit clarinet but I can't. See, in his head,
Yeah. Yeah.
he can't, because I tell him he can't. So he has that. So he doesn't have the control. He has zero control. So when I think being a kid, I think it's a horrible state of being. You know what I mean? Then there is the teenager. So when I think teenager, I think it's a horrible state also. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But when you are a teenager and you start to feel like your body growing and you feel
Hmm.
like
Strength.
super powerful and you
Yeah.
have all that energy, it's unbelievable too. It's like, whoa, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're in that stage, you feel amazing.
Hmm.
And then the more life goes, the more you learn, you do mistakes
Hmm.
and you do good things and you do this and I don't know. And then after that, you start to calm down and you understand also that when life hits you with something, always ends,
Hmm.
pain ends,
Yeah.
and the life always throw a little light at you, always. So I don't know. I don't think there
Yeah.
is like really any event or anything. It's more like you learn and you tame your emotions. You start to be more zen, more calm, more reading philosophy, and it doesn't stop. So I know that right now I'm in an amazing stage of my life in that term, It's completely unbelievable, But I know that in 10 years from now, I'm going to think that this was probably like terrible.
Absolutely. It's how it always works, right?
Although since my 40s, I think it's the same zone. It's a beautiful zone.
That's great.
So I'm looking forward for them to like read more philosophy, calm down, and start to understand. You see
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
I do. But it's also part of it that you got to go through these steps. You got to go through these
got to.
maturation process, and it's part of it. And it's beautiful but exhausting at the same time.
My favorite phrase is you cannot build a tree.
That's true. You can't.
You cannot build a tree. So everything needs to grow at its own pace.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then last thing is just like moment for self promotion. Like, what's your website? I think you're about to go on tour and kind of be out and about and for playing music around the country and all that. So like, if you want to find out more about you, come see a show. How do we find that information for you?
My website is stephanewrembel.com, StephaneWrembel.com, stephanewrembel.com. But also I have Facebook, Instagram,
Hmm.
TikTok. I just opened a TikTok to
Nice.
put some guitar videos.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can find me on social media and all that. And yeah, we're going to Asia, China, Japan, South Korea, India. Then we come back and we go to the South,
Hmm.
Georgia, North Carolina, West Virginia, all that, in that
Yeah. Yeah.
area. Then we go to the Midwest, Chicago, then we go to Nebraska, Iowa, all that. And we go all the way to Colorado. We're going to be
Yeah.
actually in Denver.
Yep.
And then coming back, and then France. And I have my Django festival in May. I organize like the biggest Django festival in America. It's called Django Agogo. And we have a guitar camp for 40 students and a series of 4 shows in Maplewood and New York City, 4
Hmm.
concerts. And I bring like the greatest players in the world, like
That's awesome.
Angelo Debar, Gizmograph, Sebastian Felix, all from Europe. And it's amazing. So these are like
That's
the
awesome.
things that are coming.
That's great. But for the most part, that's it. We just kind of sit here, talk about what we care about in life and how it relates to children. And then go about the rest of our day.
Beautiful.
And I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for taking the time to do an episode with me. And I'll see you out here in Denver in March.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Devin.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And enjoy
Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Imperfect Dads Podcast. And make sure to give us 5 stars wherever you listen to us. Music, editing, and production is all done by me. Make sure to tune in on Mondays and most Thursdays for new episodes. This podcast is part of the Never Efface Network. Make sure to go to nevereffacenetwork.com to learn more about them.